What's up, Cowboys Nation? Welcome back to another video. This is your post-game reaction video. The Dallas Cowboys advanced to 3-1 on the season, knocking off their NFC East rivals. They knocked the Commanders down 25-10. Let's go ahead and talk about it.
Down the field, Lamb, 10-5, victory! Touchdown, Ezekiel Elliott. How about the rookie Micah Parsons? What a play!
Defense wins championships, but the Super Bowl is won by the quarterback.
Well, the Cowboys go on a 3-game winning streak, and I will be the first to tell you I did not expect when we left Sunday Night Football and we lost to the Buccaneers the way we did, and it was announced that Dak Prescott was going to be out for a few games. I will be the first to admit that I did not expect the Cowboys to go on a 3-game winning streak. Of course, they were very winnable games, but for the Dallas Cowboys to now be in a really good position here in the NFC East, even though the Eagles just won a game today again, so they're 4-0, the only undefeated team in the NFL. Now you have the Dallas Cowboys who are hanging in there right behind them, which is, again, I'll be the first to admit that, and the Cowboys pulled out a gutsy NFC East win. Very messy, and I think if you saw the Giants game last week, this is almost a carbon copy, very similar to what we saw last week, how the first half began, how the second half we began to gain momentum and kind of just ran away with the game. So let's go to talk about a few predictions that I had made in my pregame prediction video, and let's follow up on that. So on the defense, I said that we were going to hold them below 20 points. They only scored 10 points today, so the defense keeps that momentum going, and they hold them under 20 points. I also mentioned that the team was going to get 3 sacks. 2 of those were going to be Micah Parsons. Now, we did get 2 sacks, and Micah Parsons ended up with 0 sacks. I'm going to talk a little about Micah Parsons, but me personally, I felt, the Giants game, you can make the argument that he was incredibly disruptive, and that's what opened the door for other players, Dorrance Armstrong, DeMarcus Lawrence, to come in and start sacking him and disrupting the offensive line. This was an interesting game because I didn't really see that same disruption. I didn't see that same Micah Parsons force that we're used to. I'm going to have to take a look at the film and see what happened there. I don't know if it was, just strategic blocking by the Washington Commanders where they put 2 on Micah Parsons, but I saw a lack of explosiveness coming off the line. And I saw that even outside of getting, because I know, outside of sacks, there's more to being a defensive end. There's more to being a linebacker. Even outside of that, in the running game, he was getting beat out on the edge. So I got to take a look at the film, but he was not the disruptive Micah Parsons that we're normally seeing game in and game out. And it's just interesting, I think, how in the first 2 games against the Bengals and the Buccaneers, he was lights out, disruptive, making noise in the NFL. He's still the same player, but it's just a little bit surprising. I guess I'll just ask the question of, he played the Giants, we played the Commanders now, and he walks away with 0 sacks from both of those games, when it should be expected that he comes away with more. So I think that's an interesting question. Maybe, and I know last week he was dealing with the illness, and so that's okay. I get that. He was still equally disruptive, but to follow that up with another game here with no sacks, and to my eye and the way that I saw the game, of course, I'm going to have to look at the all-22 after, but just not seeing that same amount of contribution in the run game as we usually are used to. He was tackling down a few guys. He played a significant part in the passing game at some points, but that's just my take on Micah Parsons. No sacks. He's on a 2-game streak here with no sacks, but that's okay because held the Washington Commanders to 10 points. And I also said in my prediction that we were going to get 2 interceptions. I said one was going to be for Diggs, and that's exactly right. I got it right on the head right there. 2 interceptions, one for Diggs and one for the rookie Deron Bland. So he got to get on the fun right there. And like I said, we got to hold him underneath 20 points, and so call it what it is. Most half of the prediction was pretty correct. What I expected this defense to do is exactly what they did. They controlled it. Running game kind of got out of our hands there a little bit, but we were able to still battle it out. And the Commanders, honestly, they probably could have just stuck to that running game and tried to force the issue. It may have given them a better opportunity at the end of the game to win the game, but they just relied on passing, and that's kind of what you get when you're throwing with Carson Wentz, and we saw that there. Carson Wentz, just not a good, he's not a starting quarterback in the NFL. And you see it right here. And I think the Cowboys have benefited very much from the past two games of playing two quarterbacks that aren't elite. And, that's with playing Daniel Jones with the New York Giants and playing Carson Wentz. And I think the Cowboys really benefited from that. And I think that's why you see the score that you do. But we got to be mindful that we cannot be tricked into this again. When the Cowboys manhandled opponents that were under 500 or, weren't that good last year, and then when we got to play an elite team in the NFL, we saw the difference. We saw the Cowboys struggle. And I just want to be mindful here and be one of those content creators for the Dallas Cowboys where I say, okay, we won 2 games that we were supposed to, with or without Dak Prescott, and we did our business. We handled it. I'll talk a little bit about how we can tweak those. There's a little bit of fine-tuning in there. But now we got 2 straight-up opponents that are making noise in the league. One is one that just won the Super Bowl, and 2 is the only undefeated team in the NFL now. So do not fall into this trap or this illusion or this mirage that the Dallas Cowboys are now one of the top teams in the NFL. They're really good. They're on a good stride. They're winning games with their backup quarterback, which is what you want, is what you need. But do not be deceived. We just played the Giants and the Commanders. And now a true test comes up here to play the Rams and the Eagles in the following couple of weeks. And we're going to see exactly where this team is. And I'm very excited to see that. But just keep your mind open. Again, unbiased, realistic Cowboys fan here to give that take. Other side of it, I said the Cowboys were going to win 27-19. They won 25-10, so I was a few points off. And, just like I said, let's talk about this offense. This offense in the first half was very basic. I got to come at Kellen Moore for this because these are games, to me, watching them in the first half, there's no need to struggle. There's a lot of times where we can take opportunities, and you look at that Giants game, easily we could be up 14-3 at half. You look at this game, we could easily be up 21-0. I'll also say this, it wasn't penalties. The Cowboys did a great job of limiting penalties, and that's something that we've all been calling for, and that's exactly what they did. They played a good, clean game with not a lot of penalties, and I'm proud of that, and I'm glad for that. But the offensive play calling and the strategy, last week I gave kudos to Kellen Moore for planning around Cooper Rush and giving him opportunities. This one, I thought he came out of the gate very conservative. And I don't know whether if it's the play call or whether it's the belief that they believe they're limited with Cooper Rush's playmaking ability. And I'll say this, there is no controversy between Cooper Rush and Dak Prescott. That's my opinion as a Dallas Cowboys content creator. In no world, in my world, do I see that Cooper Rush is a better quarterback than Dak Prescott. If someone were to argue with me about that Cooper Rush should replace Dak Prescott when Dak Prescott is healthy, the thing that I would show them would be this game. To me, it just looked like the Cowboys believed that they were limited in the offensive playmaking and strategy that they developed because they had Cooper Rush as a quarterback. I think if Dak Prescott is in this game as your quarterback, it's a completely different ball game. The Cowboys then have an open playbook to do what they want. But I believe with Cooper Rush, they were a little bit limited today, and it really showed in that first half. But here's the thing, this offense, and it's been like this since Kellen Moore was hired, even before Jerry Jones got Mike McCarthy. The offense is the most bland thing I've ever seen of an offense. And that was the reason why there was so much struggle in the first half offensively. You don't see any motion. And granted, when you do see motion, there is a lot of success. When you have CeeDee Lamb in motion, or when you have Turpin or Gallup in motion, there's a lot of success with that. But this offense is so bland that there is no motions. There's no misdirection. There's nothing like that. They believe, and I tweeted about it, I said, I don't know if it's just simple arrogance that the Cowboys believe that they are all that, or if it's just simple ignorance to the fact that the Cowboys can't come up with the more creative offensive play scheme. The fact that you think you can just run Zeke down the middle, this is not the 90s anymore. This is not Emmitt Smith, and this is not the Great Wall of Dallas. So to think that you can come out and just win the game by pounding Zeke down the middle, at least call a different running play. At least stretch it to the outside. Do something different instead of just running him down the middle, because it is so predictable. Because when you call 2 straight Zeke running plays down the middle, now it's 3rd and 6, the defense knows what you're going to do. Oh, you're probably going to throw the ball. Or you're going to probably think you're so creative that you're probably going to call a play action now. But at the end of the day, at the end of the play call, it's still predictable. And that's what we were running to in the first half. And I think that's where a guy like Cooper Rush, although he's a gunslinger, although he's an above average quarterback, above average backup quarterback, he's able to, throw out of those plays. And like I said, I think just the running game was not established as much as it needed to. Adjustments were not made. Play calling was suspect. Although, and here's my biggest thing with this Cowboys offense, ever since the days of Jason Garrett, ever since the days that we hired Kellen Moore, an offense should complement a quarterback's strengths and abilities, not completely rely on it. You look at any Cowboys offense dating back to Scott Linehan, Jason Garrett, Kellen Moore, it has always been dependent on the fact of what their quarterback can do. An offensive strategy and a game plan should complement your quarterback and its strengths and its abilities. It should highlight those things to make it better, not completely rely on the fact that, hey, this is our guy, with or without him, we're going down. And I think that's the true issue here. Cooper Rush, like I said, is an above average quarterback where he's able to roll out, extend the play, find a receiver. But we've seen it time and time again when you put up any kind of other backup quarterback in this system. And I can say that because this system has literally been the same for the past 10 years. Great job to CeeDee Lamb, back-to-back games with game-clinching touchdown drives. You had the one-handed grab against the New York Giants last week to seal that game, and you had the wide-open touchdown grab today with this fabulous route running. CeeDee Lamb has faced a little bit of criticism to start the season, questions about him being number one, and to follow it up back-to-back games and to just really be the player out there to catch the pass, get open, and seal the game. I got to say, CeeDee Lamb has completely shown up in the past 2 games, and he has shown that he's a true 88, and he is part of that 88 club. So hands down, awesome job by CeeDee Lamb. Second thing we got to talk about, and I have not talked about him that much in my videos, but I got to give credit to the guy who's from Alabama. We got to talk about the best cornerback in the National Football League, Trayvon Diggs. I don't got the stats in front of me, but the most important stat, there's no touchdowns against him, no big throws against him. He also got an interception. There has to be a lot of respect given to Trayvon Diggs because this guy has played lights out to start the season. And you saw it. The Commanders did not throw his way, and when they did, no one caught it. Trayvon Diggs, hands down, a shutdown cornerback, has been living up to the Pro Bowl status and the All-Pro status that he is. He is a playmaker. He is a shutdown cornerback, and he is making noise in this league. He is playing lights out. Definitely one of my favorite players to watch on the defense right now. But other than that, the Cowboys, like I said, they won. They survived 3-1. Now, do we expect Dak Prescott to be back next week? That's the question, and I think that's going to be very interesting here to see how the next week follows up here. But regardless, we got to win today, whether you think it was messy like myself or whether you think there's a future. All that matters is the Cowboys won today because it would have definitely been a whole different story and a different video and a different week for the Dallas Cowboys fans if they lost this game. But no matter what, they won it. They got it, and now they're 3-1. They're a game behind the Philadelphia Eagles, and they're in a really good position, the best position that they could possibly be in without Dak Prescott. And with Dak Prescott potentially coming back next week as we prepare for the Los Angeles Rams, we're in a really good position. Great job to Mike McCarthy getting his guys ready for this big game. And that's it. So going to comment down below what you think about the whole game. Comment down below what you thought about the offense, about the defense, about the coaching. I want to hear about it down below. But other than that, be sure to follow me on Instagram, Twitter, and all my social media platforms. Be sure to like and subscribe to this video. And I will see you guys next time. Go Cowboys.
Looking down the field, Lamb, 10, 5, victory! Touchdown, Ezekiel Elliott. How about the rookie Micah Parsons? What a play!
Defense wins championships, but the Super Bowl is won by the quarterback.